Welcome to the beginning of a 10-part series of short videos called Schizophrenia Demystified. My name is Dr. Linda Snow-Griffin, and I'm a retired psychologist and the mother of an adult son with schizophrenia. Did you know that over 20 million people worldwide have been diagnosed with schizophrenia? And many more family and friends have been impacted as well. Even so, schizophrenia is one of the most misunderstood mental illnesses, which is why I decided to record these videos. The first video is called, What is Schizophrenia? First of all, even the name is misleading. The name comes from the Greek word that means split personality. So many people think that someone with schizophrenia may be like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and suddenly become angry or violent. That is just not the case. First of all, most people with schizophrenia are not violent. And second, they do not have multiple personalities. That is a whole different diagnosis with different causes. Multiple personality or dissociative identity disorder is usually the result of trauma that's experienced over and over again, whereas schizophrenia is a neurological disorder, a brain disease that is often genetic. Schizophrenia has positive and negative symptoms. Now, when I say positive symptoms, I do not mean that they are symptoms that you really want to have, but they are called positive because they add to rather than subtract from your daily experiences. Some examples of positive symptoms are delusions. Delusions are belief systems that are not logical. An example of a delusion is when someone believes that they're receiving special messages through their television, or when they believe that everyone on Earth is an alien in disguise. Sometimes they may believe that they're a famous person from the past. Paranoid delusions center around others trying to poison them, harm them, or plot against them for some reason. Some delusions can be frightful or harmful, but even if they're not, it is hard to live in a world where so many other people think differently. I'm not saying that we all have to think exactly the same. Of course, we can have different philosophical, religious, or political differences. That's what makes our world more interesting. I'm talking about sharing concrete definitions of reality that help you survive. And delusions can complicate living in this world. Hallucinations means seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, or smelling things that other people do not experience. The most common is hearing voices. And these voices can be making ongoing comments about a person's behavior. The voices can sometimes talk to each other, and they can be commanding or hurtful as well. When my son was first diagnosed, he heard voices that were coming from outside of himself. And these voices were very different from the ongoing self-talk that many of us engage with on a daily basis. These were voices that were loud, insistent, or demanding, and very difficult for him to ignore by the time he was diagnosed. They interfered with his ability to talk freely with family and friends, and to pay attention to his schoolwork, and just to find a sense of inner peace. They were not comforting, nor were they harmless. One was particularly mean to him and would always tell him how bad he was or to do something that could harm him. For instance, he told me later, one time when he was driving, what he called his picture voice told him to turn left into oncoming traffic. If he disobeyed the voice, it said it would give him a headache. Fortunately, he chose the headache. These voices really impaired his ability to cope with life. Disorganized thinking can refer to loose associations and unconnected ramblings. In some cases, a person with a thought disorder may make up words or talk in incoherent ways that no one else can understand. Other times, the thought disorder may get expressed through confused writing. In Jacob's case, his writing had become hard to understand. This was especially a problem for him in early college when he was taking his English literature courses. His instructor would often return his essays with big question marks on most pages, and he would have to rewrite these essays over and over again. So eventually he decided just to retake these classes after his disorganized thinking improved. Disorganized or catatonic behavior. Disorganized behavior can be seen as agitated or excitable behavior, like pacing or becoming overly anxious or being very silly. Difficulty following through with goals or performing daily activities is another example of disorganized behavior. Catatonia refers to a lack of movement, mainly woodenness or posturing, with an inability to act or talk in any way. Negative symptoms are behaviors that subtract from your daily experiences. Negative behaviors include withdrawal, lack of emotional expression, very low energy, excessive sleeping, little interest in social activities or social interactions. And these were the symptoms that first appeared for my son. He had been very outgoing and fun-loving, but he gradually became more and more withdrawn and would sleep a lot. Not everyone who is diagnosed with schizophrenia has every symptom, but a diagnosis requires at least 2 symptoms and one must be positive. This video does not substitute for a comprehensive evaluation by a mental health professional. It just gives you an idea of what people with schizophrenia might experience. So, what causes this debilitating illness? In the next video, I will explain possible causes. You can also visit my website, lindasnow-griffin.phd.com, for more information. And if you have any questions, my contact information is listed on my website. Thank you for watching this video.